If you've ever thought about connecting non-Corsair RGB fans or just non-Corsair RGB lighting for that matter and connecting it to one of the RGB fan connectors on your Corsair controller, in this video we're going to talk about a cable that will do just that. But I found this cable that converts the 4-pin Molex Corsair RGB connector into a standard 3-pin ARGB connection. So in the box is simply just the cable itself. But basically on the one end we have the Corsair connector. This is the end that goes into the controller. And on the other end we have two of the standard 3-pin ARGB connectors. They do have some protective caps on them, so you can go ahead and remove those. And it does have a little piggyback so that you can extend this if necessary. Now, I wouldn't go connecting tons and tons of RGB lighting to just a single connector here. But this should be good for a device or two. I've got a couple here on the bench that we'll check out. This cable should work with the Commander Core XT and the Lighting Node Core. Basically, you're just going to plug this into any of the ports on your RGB hub here. It doesn't matter which one, they're going to get configured independently. And on the other end, you're going to connect whatever RGB device you have. And in this case, I've got a Cooler Master RGB fan, so let's get that connected up. And I also do have a lighting bar from GIM here. We'll connect that into the other pigtail here. All right, so that is all the connections that you need to do. And of course, you could keep adding cables here and keep connecting other fans and other RGB devices. Now let's go ahead and switch over to iCUE. Now to get this configured, you're gonna start with your Commander Core XT or your Lighting Node Core if you're using that. Go to the 4-pin lighting effects and we're gonna go to the lighting setup function. Go ahead and run the wizard in this case, and it's going to show you here are your 4-pin ports. We're already aware of that because we've connected to it. Click Next, and here you get the option to run auto detection or set up manually. Now, auto detection is not going to work in this case, so you'll need to click where it says set up manually, and on this case, I've got it in RGB port 1, so we'll go set up manually and then click Next. And then it's going to go ahead and try to do auto detection on the rest of the ports. So just go ahead and click Next here, whether you've got devices connected there or not. The next screen here is for you to select which fans are connected. Now, keep in mind that Corsair is not intending for you to use it in this manner. It's not expecting other RGB devices here. They're expecting one of their fans to be connected. So what you need to do is you need to select one of these fans that most closely matches the number of LEDs that are in the devices that you have here. You know, for example, if you select one of the 8 LED series fans, it's really only going to light up to the first 8 LEDs on your device. And so in a lot of cases, the 8 LED fan is not going to be adequate. We've talked about on this channel before, but I'll go ahead and put in the number of LEDs each of these devices has below. You just want to select one that probably has slightly more or equal to. If you put slightly less, you may find that not all of the LEDs are lit. The QL fans have a large number of LEDs in it, so we'll go ahead and select that to start. And you can see that you do get the lights lit up on your devices. And go ahead and select Next. And this is your device layout. That's really going to be less important here. Go ahead and just select Finish. Now, unlike the 3-pin lighting setup where you can select the number of devices that are there, you don't get that option on the 4-pin lighting setup. It's really, and that's a function of iCUE. It's expecting one fan and one fan only there, so it doesn't ever give you the option. Although if you do daisy chain them here, each device is just going to receive the same signal. So you can put more than one device here, although as I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't add a ton of devices to this. So once that's done, you can come back here on the main screen, go to QL RGB series fan, hit plus on the lighting layers. We can start selecting whatever lighting effect we want. This is watercolor, this is arc, color pulse, color shift. You get the idea. Now, as I've mentioned in other videos, if you're using non-Corsair devices in this manner, they may or may not look exactly like the original animation was intended to look. But what I found is they usually look pretty good. They're fun to play around with, and I can usually make it look pretty good, and it's an awesome way to use it. But this is a great way to get some non-Corsair RGB working within your Corsair iCUE environment. Now, we've looked at other ways to do that in the past, and it was using the 3-pin cable that connects into the RGB port, which also works well. But this is just another way to do it that we've never really explored. So you could also make this cable if you desire. In my last video, we talked about using the micro pin crimper and some of the components from Molex, to create some of the 4-pin RGB adapters. But you could use that same method here to convert the 4-pin Molex connector to a standard 3-pin ARGB. So you could make this cable as well, which is another argument for learning how to crimp and create your own cables if you desire. Anyways, this is just a quick video. I wanted to show you real quick that you could do this. This is one way to do it. I'll link to this cable in the description below. It's available off Amazon from Airgoo and probably some other locations. So go check that out if this is something you would be interested in. And above all else, you should just be having fun with the whole thing anyways. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about this video, please let me know. That is going to do it for today. Thanks for watching.